Mark Bell from supertraining.tv. This is a dynamic effort bench day for us, but we had most guys actually maxing out on this day. Got a guy from out of town, military guy, David something, forgot his last name, sorry about that. And he was doing a little bit of shirt work. Got Rhino back in the house, coming in for a quick workout. He was in town for a flex wheeler party. I think he hopped out of the cake naked for flex. Anyway, here's this guy's second attempt. He's got around 370 on there. And you see right away he kind of has that weight dumped back into his wrist. Makes it very hard for him to get his elbows back underneath the barbell, and he kind of dumps it. Obviously getting stronger will help as well. There's Rhino going with about 5 plates. He's got a compression band on his elbow from jump stretch. It's a compression elbow, helps heal up whatever injuries you got, helps bring blood to the area. Also just gives you some compression when you're doing exercise like this. Rhino busts out some reps with 500 pounds there. Rip, tan, vascular, 500-pound raw benches. Stan kind of goes up and down on those 500-pound presses. If he press with his elbows in a little bit better, he should be able to move that weight for around 10 reps. But his form's a little jacked up. So this guy's got the weight back in his wrist again, so that leads to another missed attempt. Once you miss once, you got to really make a decision on whether you're going to try it one more time, or possibly go back down and wait, or just move on to another exercise. It's not good to try the same thing too many times. It's very rare that we see somebody try the same thing over and over again and they actually come through and make it. So he could have possibly, had some different options here, maybe gone off of boards or something just to end the day with some success. But sometimes it's a little difficult to help people that are off the street. You don't really know what type of training they're doing coming in. I have no idea, really whether that guy does speed work or not. I have no idea if he follows the West Side Barbell method to a T, or if he just gets in his shirt every single week. It's hard to say. But the more information you have, the more you can help somebody. There's Jessica Brown working in an overkill bench shirt, trying to work on the technique of it. It's 315 off some boards there. There's Rhino. We're not really sure what he's doing, but he's certainly not concerned with coming over and helping out anybody from the team. He seems to be a little bit more self-absorbed, let's say. Here he is busting out some reps with some heavy dumbbells. Next time he comes into town, I'll have to get some pink dumbbells for him. Look at that, not one rep locked out. Leave it to a bodybuilder to lift like a slob. Look at that. I wouldn't count one of those. Red light on every single one. I don't know what that is about the bodybuilders, why they do that. Maybe that's why I'm not ripped. Here's Jess going with another attempt. She was just struggling a little bit to keep her elbows in on the day. Her elbows were kind of coming out. The new shirt, so it takes some time. Here's Juan. He loves to go with 405 in his bench shirt for some reason. Kind of embarrassing, really. Jim McDonald going with a new shirt. New shirt day at Super Training. Whenever you're working in a new shirt, you got to give it some time. It more than likely is not going to feel that great the first time you use it, unless you're lucky enough to just get the right fit. If you get the right fit, then the day might go pretty well for you. But normally, it takes a little adjusting, takes a little time to get used to. There, Jessica had her elbows in a little bit, but the weight's just a little too heavy for her to lock in. Couldn't quite lock that one out. But she's getting into some weights that she's never really handled before. That's around 320 or 325, I think. Here's Juan John going with 500 off 3 board. Got Master lift-off man robot with the lift-off for Efferding. Efferding busting out some more reps with 500, trying to tuck the elbows in a little bit more. You see, when those elbows come out, you have nowhere else to go and you get stuck. And then your elbows end up coming out real wide and end up on the opposite side of the barbell sometimes. The bar just keeps drifting back, and then you lose all your leverages at some point. There's Jim McD going with 405 off a 2-board. Jim needs to throw his elbows in a little bit more at the end there, and he'll get even a little bit more pop out of that bottom of that shirt. Here's Jess, and there's a good view of her elbows being out. I don't think I've ever seen her bench like that before. So that's something we're going to have to work on. But whenever you're in new gear, all kinds of weird shit's going to happen. It's a huge part of powerlifting, and it's here to stay. The powerlifting gear is not going anywhere. Nobody's going to stand for going backwards, so you got to either be in it, or you got to just be weaker than everybody else. So you got to learn this extreme gear that's around. It's here to stay, and you got nothing else to do but to practice in it and try to get better. Here's Jim going with around 445 or so now, 435, somewhere in that range. You see how his elbows ended up on the other side of the barbell for a second there at the bottom. You tuck the elbows. You want to keep the elbows right underneath the bar throughout the whole lift. And there's Jess' elbows popping out again. We're just trying to have her work on her technique. And she has it going all over the place. Like I said, it takes some time. Got Juan going up in weight here. I think this is around 6 plates now. A good strong press there. There's Jim going with 455 to a 1-board. You don't really need to tuck a whole lot from the very top of the lift, but you want to tuck right about here. Because sometimes what will happen is if you have to go full range, you might end up just completely losing that lift altogether. It might end up dumping it. Or just having some sort of awkward leverage out of the bottom. Here Jessica gets her form down a lot better. Had the elbows tucked in, made the lift a lot easier. Here's Juan going with around 675. I can't remember his weights for the day, but I think it's around 675. Actually, that was 700. He just barely missed it there at the top. The weight wavered a little bit, bobbled. That's it from supertraining.tv.